Leroy, I just saw on my Twitter account somebody followed me on Twitter called Celtics All the Time. And I'm just thinking to myself, does that guy think he's going to have a good time on my Twitter account? That guy is just following to badger me.
That's a hate follow for sure.
He's just a hate follow. That's me. Celtics All the Time. That is your Twitter handle. And that guy thinks he's going to enjoy me.
Good luck.
All right. Well, we'll see. Anyway, a guy we always enjoy right now, the Heat Summer League. Been off to a fun start. A lot of young talent right now. Orlando Robinson's balling out. He's had one of the highest scoring Summer League games. Nikola Jović looks awesome. Got to see a little bit of Jaime Jaquez, but he's been banged up. So we're going to get the coach on right now. Coach Caron Butler is joining us here on the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan. And Caron joining us there. Coach, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. It's great to have you. Coach, we want to ask you this right off the bat. So they just came out with these new rules, the flop rule and the challenge rule. But with the first games that they were kind of testing this out was that game in Sacramento with you guys. What was that experience like where they were going to call these things out and go technical fouls? Like, did they just throw this to you on the fly that they were going to be trying out these rules? And I guess they seem to have liked it going in. They're going to adopt it for the season.
Yeah, exactly. They did try it out on the fly, and obviously we got the memo, and it happened literally right in front of our bench. And I lost my track of thinking when Jamal Cain had shot the three. He made it, but he was falling forward and he fell. I didn't consider it a flop. I just saw him like falling forward, looking for the contact, but he fell and they stopped the game, called it a flop, and it was deemed as a technical foul, and the other team got a chance to shoot the free throws. And I was just like, oh man, I totally missed that one. But I think that's really going to change the game. It really is, because a lot of guys are flailing and doing all these different things, and it can be momentum shifters, coming up this regular season.
Now, Caron, do you think this will stop people from going in and take the charge? Because a lot of times you got to sell the charge.
Yeah, not as from a charge standpoint so much, but just offensively, a lot of players are really crafty, and they're tactically technicians when it comes to, creating contact or selling the contact. And now a lot of those buckets are going to, get taken away. It's going to recall for them to have emotional intelligence, because now they're frustrated because that offensive skill of making it look like they got fouled, it is a skill. So now that messes up their game, and I just think that it's a lot of offensive players are going to be in for a rude awakening. It might affect it on the defensive end, but offensively, I think it's going to have a huge impact.
Caron, can you talk a little bit about? You got a fun squad here. You got a couple first-round picks, guys who are getting a chance to flourish out there, and a lot of other nice young pieces. But Nikola Jović, getting him now with a year under the Heat system. Everybody talks about his muscle gain and all that stuff. But what have you seen from him? His improvement mentally, physically. What have you liked about what Jović has brought to the table so far in Summer League?
Well, I think the two most important things is, one, his mental being. He's preparing to dominate every game. His disposition on how he comes from a preparation standpoint, his leadership, his voice, leadership at all levels is something that I preach in that locker room. And he's done a remarkable job at just making sure that his voice is being heard. He's saying the right things, whether it's walkthrough, practice, whatever the case. And then also, I think just being available, when you're a little fatigued or whatever the case may be. We've been on this journey for 2 years now. We've been on the road for 13 days amongst each other, and we've really been getting after it. And he's always at the forefront from a leadership standpoint, being available on the court, demonstrating how things are done here, talking terminology, all those things. He's just been remarkable.
Caron, one of the things that I've always been interested in is that, as far as like basketball in college or basketball where you played it, getting to the NBA, you were playing games at a high level far more frequently. Is that probably one of the biggest transitions, even when you came from college and then came to the NBA, playing 82 games in your first season? Is that a little bit overwhelming for some of these young guys? Because you look at a guy like, say, Orlando Robinson, he seems now he's, it's no big deal to him to come and play 2-3 games in a week. But some of these young guys, I don't know if they've necessarily ever done that.
Yeah, I think it's a huge difference. Basketball has been a hobby for a lot of guys for years, and they've been so gifted. But now you're playing against the cream of the crop of people that's been gifted, and now you have to stand on business on a daily basis because this is a business. People take their preparation extremely serious. You're not probably going to be the most athletic. You're probably not going to be the most fastest, most explosive, but the advantages that you can create is within your attention to detail and your habits on a daily basis. That's film sessions, that's watching tendencies. That's what we always preach, KYP, know your personnel, all those things. And like guys are really starting to process, wow, this is why you get the results that you get because you guys stay solution-based driven. And the guys are accepting it, they're embracing it, but it is a lot. It is a lot on the fly to take in, but I just love this group because they're learning on the fly and they're accepting and receiving the information.
From Leroy mentions Orlando there. He obviously has the monster, 36-point game. What have you liked about his growth so far this summer, Caron? Like, got a taste with you guys last year and did a nice job on his two-way, but gets the standard contract. Looks like he's going to have a little bit more of a role for you guys. So what have you liked about what Orlando and where he's grown?
But the best thing for Orlando, Kane, and Nikola was the long playoff run that we had because they got to experience the intensity of the playoffs every round. They saw the preparation at a different level. As we went further, our attention to detail and all those things got more and more important. Possession ball games got more and more important. But also their habits and how they were, training and preparing and the offensive things I was installing and the terminology that I was installing defensively, Orlando just really took a huge step forward. He was able to shoot the ball better. He was shooting 70 plus threes out of 100 at the end of every workout. Your legs going, your fatigue, all those things. He was doing everything with high intensity, with a motor, as we say. He got really efficient around the rim in the restricted area. So it was something that he built on, something that he was preparing for, and that monster game is just the beginning of some of the flashes and things that you're going to see from Orlando going forward.
In that deep playoff run, I saw like you're still doing this thing. For those who haven't seen this, like when you guys switch out with the coaches, you guys are doing warm-ups. With Jović, you've been teaching him this move, okay? Like you've been doing this thing since November where you teach him this game winner, and he's got to end every workout with it. So, like, where did that come to be? And, like, where did you learn that move? Why did you decide this to be the move that you want to pass on to Jović? And when do you think he executes this? When do we get to see this one to walk up a Summer League game?
So that's a great question. That started with Kobe Bryant. When I went to Los Angeles when I was traded, Kobe always had told me, leave the court with something that's just like super heroic. When you leave the court, hit like a game winner situation. So I just started doing that part of my routine when I was playing. That's something that started with him. And when I started working out with Nico, I just kept telling him, look, we're going to finish our workouts with this every time. Now, rewind and fast forward to the game that we played last. We had a great opportunity at the end of the game to win, and I was going to draw that play up for him to score in that region. But I knew that it was a overhelp team. I tried to clear out that guy from the slot, and I knew that there was going to overhelp in that third defender, and Drew Peterson would be wide open. And he had a great shot on target. We was going for the win with the shot, the time going out. So I love that opportunity. But, hey, if it's a possession ball game, Nico's going to definitely have an opportunity to make that shot.
Caron, is it hard to be patient, like understanding how really young these players are and how long it takes to get into your prime in basketball and the ebbs and flows of just say summer league. You see guys have a game and then for a couple of games, they, it's like up and down and up and down. Is that one of the things you have to be patient with? Because, you're an accomplished professional. You've already been through all that. But sometimes when you get to that point, you forget, what it took for you to get there. But is it easier or more difficult to be patient based on what you want to see or what the team or franchise may need?
It was harder for me when I first came in because, I came in with a fresh, different perspective. Now being, 3 years in, going into my fourth year as a coach, you learn all those things you just touched on, the patience, the development process, the growing pains, teaching players how to be consistent on a consistent basis. So it is, a process, and you have to wrap your arms around that process. It's going to be some days where it's just going to look not promising for whoever, and
right.
You got to switch up your message. You got to continue to find the why. And that's how you move the needle in these guys' process. And it's been challenging at times, but that's why we get into this, because we love the challenge. And that's what it's all about.
Because they were talking about this on the broadcast, Caron. Like, you've been successful in like whatever you've done, business, playing. When you got into coaching, like, did you get addicted to it? Was it harder than you thought? And like, as the years have gone by, like, how much more have you liked the decision to go this route, even though you could have gone in a lot of different directions?
Yeah, I actually was, I never considered coaching. I was, doing the television thing, and I was just loving it. And I was talking about the game of basketball, watching the finals and the bubble, and I had the itch. And when Spo reached out to me and just said, "Hey, I would love to have you. Like, this opportunity has presented itself. Like, I want you, and you're the guy." And when I came over, I was still, questioning the move. Like, all right, I just uprooted my family from Los Angeles. What does this look like? But I would kick myself in the tail if I never took this opportunity, because it's something that I always do. And it was the best thing I ever done. I've never regretted the decision. Amazing group. They challenged me in every way. I'm a student still. I say it all the time. I'm in basketball school. I'm learning from them. They're learning from me. It's a collaboration. And I think that's the best innovation. And I'm so connected to this now. Like, I can't see myself not doing it going forward. Like, this is something that I love. And, someday, one day, after, learning from my mentors, the Godfather, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, Eric Glass, Chris Quinn, Malik, Coach O, all those guys, hopefully I'll, be a head coach soon in this league.
You you have an interesting parallel with all these guys, Caron, and that like Jaime, Jović, you were in that spot of being a first round pick for this franchise. Have you guys had the talk of like, oh, this is what Riley said to me when I was drafted? Like, is it the same that it was when you got drafted, or is it differed up a little bit since with the young guys this day and age?
Yeah, you know what? I think the terminology and the messaging is the same, but now, the Godfather used to deliver the message to whoever was in front of the team most. And now, last year, last two seasons, particularly in the summer league, Coach Allen was delivering the message. Now I'm in front of the team and I'm echoing the message that was echoed to me, and passed down. And that's what the culture all about. So I'm telling these guys, I've been in those seats. I've been in your shoes. I felt the way you felt. I felt the highs, felt the lows, felt the expectations, all that stuff. And, just stay on the saddle. We're going to get there together. The buy-in has been amazing, like beyond amazing. Everybody's excited about learning daily. Everybody's excited about constantly coming up with solutions on how to get better. And I think that's the beauty in all of this.
Come on before we get you out of here, Caron. Your first round pick this year, Jaime Jaquez, been a little bit banged up with the shoulder, but what have been your impressions so far with Jaime? What have you liked about his game?
Baller. He's a baller. Like, high basketball IQ, face-up game, can score back to the basket, off the dribble, live dribble, in the hole. You talk about ATOs, you can draw him up for him. He has a great feel. He has a great emotional intelligence. He reminds me a lot, and I think I said this, he reminds me a lot of Jim Jackson. Just like right off the bat, like his body size, really physical. He can defend at this level already. Offensively, he just knows how to get to his spots and get exactly what he wants. And, unfortunately, he had the, little shoulder injury, but he's going to be back soon. But I would have loved for him just to hit the ground running the way that he started in Sacramento, because the fans would have just been loving what they've been seeing, because he's just a special talent.
And coming up at the end of this summer, your guy D Wade, he's going into the Hall of Fame. Just how excited are you for that, Caron? Are you going to make it out there for him? And just the idea that he's finally getting what was pretty obvious that he was going to get there.
Yeah, if I'm still here, I'll be there. You know what I mean? As long as I'm living, I'll be there. I wouldn't miss it for the world. That's my brother, it's my friend, and I'm just proud of him on how he went about his business, handled his business, been the ultimate professional, the best player ever to put on a Heat uniform. You can't tell the story of basketball without mentioning him, and I'm just happy for him. And, I'm going to be right there with the fam, Gab, everybody, just, celebrating him, giving him his flowers, as I always do. But that's going to be a special day, and I just can't wait for, our Heat family to be there and just, give him the flowers and the recognition and love that he deserves.
You guys can catch tomorrow night. There's going to be some Summer League action, Heat and Bucks. You guys can listen to that right here on WQAM. Head coach Caron Butler doing a fantastic job. Caron, thanks for giving us time, man. Congrats on the coaching career and the run that you've been on, and we're looking forward to the rest of the summer.
Thanks, Caron.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. Yeah, y'all take care.
There you go. Caron Butler. Appreciate him giving us some time.